When police arrested Bryan Kohberger on December 30, 2022, many people were left asking the same question. What evidence led investigators to believe he was connected to one of the most shocking crimes in recent American history? The answer would involve surveillance footage, cell phone data, vehicle tracking, and DNA evidence. As investigators worked to reconstruct the events surrounding the murders of 4 University of Idaho students, they began collecting every piece of information available. One of the earliest breakthroughs came from surveillance cameras. Authorities reviewed footage from the area surrounding the victim's residence in Moscow, Idaho. As they examined the recordings, investigators noticed a white Hyundai Elantra repeatedly appearing near the neighborhood during the early morning hours of November 13, 2022. The vehicle was seen driving through the area multiple times before and after the estimated time of the murders. This immediately attracted investigators' attention. Police later appealed to the public for information about the vehicle. Eventually, investigators connected a white Hyundai Elantra to Bryan Kohberger. But the vehicle alone was not enough. Authorities continued building their case. Investigators then examined cell phone records connected to Kohberger. According to court documents, cell phone data allegedly placed his phone in the vicinity of the victim's neighborhood on multiple occasions before the murders. Investigators believed this pattern suggested familiarity with the area. Even more significant was what allegedly happened during the early morning hours of November 13th. Authorities stated that Kohberger's phone stopped reporting location data during a critical period surrounding the estimated time of the murders. Later, the device allegedly reconnected to the network. Investigators viewed this sequence as an important piece of the timeline. But perhaps the most significant evidence involved DNA. Inside the victim's residence, investigators recovered a knife sheath. According to authorities, DNA recovered from the sheath was analyzed and compared to samples connected to Bryan Kohberger. Investigators later stated that the DNA evidence linked him to the item found at the crime scene. The DNA evidence became one of the most discussed aspects of the entire case. Authorities also reviewed additional surveillance footage from businesses, residences, and traffic cameras. Investigators worked to trace the movements of the white Hyundai Elantra before and after the murders. By combining vehicle sightings, cell phone data, and forensic evidence, police believed they had established a timeline that connected Bryan Kohberger to the investigation. The case quickly became one of the most closely watched criminal investigations in the country. However, it is important to remember that the legal process is still ongoing. Bryan Kohberger has pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. Under the law, every defendant is presumed innocent unless proven guilty in court. As prosecutors and defense attorneys continue preparing their cases, many questions remain unanswered. Will the evidence presented be enough to convince a jury? What additional information may emerge during court proceedings? And will the families of the victims finally receive the answers they have been seeking? For now, the case remains one of the most significant true crime stories of recent years. A case built on technology, forensic science, and painstaking investigative work. And one that continues to capture the attention of millions around the world. If you enjoy true crime documentaries and real criminal investigations, subscribe to True Crime Chronicles for more stories like this.